What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about the apparent plethora of bugs that are in Spider-Man, by Insomniac. Bugsomnia? What's a good? I was gonna say Insectomnia, but it's not the same because bug. Anyway, it's almost like the bugs are relentless. And here's the thing about this, right? Everything that's happening today in video games, in the video game media, on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, by the fanboys, particularly the Xbox fanboys going in on the Sony ponies, is all because of what the ponies did previously in the previous generations. And that's the plain of it. You know, if the ponies and the donkey unicorns would have behaved and been just regular nice people and just gamers and not been so vitriolic, then none of this would be happening. This is like an eye for an eye type of deal, right? So when you go and you say, oh man, Bethesda, look at all these bugs in Starfield, blah, blah, blah. Guess what's gonna happen in your one game that comes out from PlayStation this year that's worth a damn? Actually, it's the only game. No, PlayStation got no games. It used to be Xbox got no games. PlayStation got no games. Got no games in the future, got no games now. So anyway, just go on Twitter. Bugs everywhere. It's hilarious. I'm sure there's some bug compilations on YouTube already. But also, what I wanted to talk about was Insomniac. I know I touched on this before, how Insomniac's making the same game over and over, right? And that's a problem because the only other game that people know about, that people actually want, is Wolverine. Who's making that? Insomniac. What's the part of the game, Spider-Man 2 that is basically Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight. It's the Arkham formula. It's the fighting. You go boop boop boop, you go fling, boop boop boop, you go fling, boop boop boop, right? That's what it is. That's what Spider-Man that's what it is, literally. I mean, Sunset Overdrive at least was different because you had projectile weapons and it was basically all shooting. You know, so it was different in that respect. And you were sliding and shooting. It had a different little flavor. Spider-Man's not that. Spider-Man's basically Batman. You know, they used that formula for combat and then they added all the cutscenes and all that stuff. Here's the problem. The one thing that I keep hearing people say about Spider-Man, that's really good, that's really important, it's key, essential, is the traversal. And I know I said this before about how's Wolverine gonna get around in the Wolverine mobile or something? How's he gonna? He's gonna run like a little doggy or something? Because Wolverines are basically like, I don't actually know what they are. They're not rodents. They're just vicious mammals. Anyway, so think about it, right? Think about what the combat will be in Wolverine. Use your brain, imaginate it, think. It's gonna be like Batman Arkham Asylum. It's gonna be like Spider-Man in a way. He's gonna jump from person to person, stabby stab, slicey slice, rawr, all that stuff, right? Okay, that's fine. What else? Now I heard there was a rumor that the game is gonna take place in Madripoor. Is that what it's called? That fictional Asian place that's in the MCU. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. So if that's the open world that they're using, that's fine. It could be kind of like a cyberpunk type of thing at the night with the glowing lights. That's cool. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, the premise of Wolverine does not sound interesting because of what Wolverine is as a character. Now, like I said before, they're gonna have to have some other people in there, some X-Men, maybe Spider-Man will show up. They're talking about maybe there's gonna be a Venom game. Spider-Man is the most famous, most popular comic book character, period, right? So them going to Wolverine is not going to do it because just the character itself is not gonna bring as much people in. So y'all should be worried about Wolverine. Not because Insomniac is a bad studio, because they're not, but they make a certain game I don't know if Wolverine is that game. Yeah, you think about like what can they do to make it like, oh man, Wolverine is so good, I can't believe it's so good. Think about what can they do, And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll do something that's, oh my God, that's so good or whatever. I don't think so. It's like, Marvel pulled a fast one when they made Iron Man popular, but that was mainly because of Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Iron Man, not because of the actual character. Actual character of Iron Man is like, he's an alcoholic and he's this and that and whatever. The problem with Tony Stark is that, or Iron Man, or both, is that nobody really liked him before because he's an alcoholic. The stigma was real. Like, oh, he's an alcoholic, he's a loser or whatever. And Robert Downey Jr. made him a likable character. But, they can't stray far from what Wolverine is. And what Wolverine is not quite what the MCU has portrayed. Because first of all, Hugh Jackman is a towering giant of a man. Wolverine's short. He's like 4'9" or something. He's the shortest, short. He's probably the shortest mutant. It's mad short. He's shorter than me. I think he's like 5 feet or something. Anyway, and it doesn't really make that much sense. But, whatever. This is all speculation. So who knows? Who knows what'll happen with those games, with that game in particular. Maybe it'll be fly. Maybe it'll be dope. It's all good. But, that in itself, like the question, the doubt of what these games are going to turn into, the future of Sony, that is a looming question that is apparent in many PlayStation, no, not the PlayStation gamers, because PlayStation gamers play multi-plat and all those games on, because they got a PlayStation, they're gonna play all these other games. It's not about exclusives for them, the casuals. The ponies and the donkey unicorns are scared out of their minds because they ain't got nothing to look forward to. They got nothing, except for Wolverine, but that's not proven. I mean, you could take the best Wolverine game, which was X-Men's Origins Wolverine, I believe that was what it was called. And you could say, okay, that's the starting point. But there were some pretty cool tech things in there, like the healing factor, like his skin was healing and stuff. That was cool, but other than that, I mean, it's just a bunch of like kind of bespoke cutscene type of, basically what Spider-Man is, a lot of that. And I just finished listening, I think it was Fonzarelli's podcast, and he had Dark 18595. Is it Dark? Anyway, he was on there, and they were talking about how the gameplay in Spider-Man is mid, basically, because it's the same thing, but it's the presentation is beautiful, and that's the thing. That's been the whole thing about the PlayStation games, is that presentation is great, but when you think about and you break down the gameplay, it's a little shallow, it's a little lacking. And that's with the best character. That's with the best comic book character. It's like, So what are you gonna do with a character that isn't proven? It's good. He's in the zeitgeist kind of in a way. People know him, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm rambling on the Wolverine tip, but there's just a bunch of kind of disingenuous ponies and donkey unicorns out there trying to have this fake worry about Xbox or this and that and the third. And their narratives have run dry. They can't say anything about sales. They can't say anything about Game Pass. They can't. And all these things that are being proven or being unproven or proven to be false by them and true in reality is hurting and will potentially hurt PlayStation in the future if they don't change. And I don't know if there is any type of motivation for Sony to change because of how they believe that they need to make money, which is selling consoles. But you can't sell consoles when you don't have games. So I'm gonna say that they're in a bad way. I keep saying this, but look, if they come up with a PlayStation 5 Pro, which is the rumor, it's a bad look. It's such a bad look. I'm sorry, I'm repeating, but the direction of Sony is just bad. And I can't be the only one that is believing that, because I'm looking at Twitter, right? And like Puerto Rock and J-Dub and all these ponies and donkey unicorns are just, they're trying to like, oh, you guys are so big mad because PlayStation has quality games and Xbox doesn't, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, y'all stupid. They can say that, knowing full well that Starfield topped the charts, right? And I saw another article or something where it was a post on Twitter X, where it's like, oh yeah, the UK charts Spider-Man's gonna be at the top of the charts, I think, or something, or with the physical copy. And then the person who put it said, oh, I had to take that down because of speculation or something. I forgot what it was. I was like, why'd you take it down? Why you scared? It was so. And the thing is, it's like, I swear Sony got the industry, meaning these media outlets and stuff, by the balls, because they are so scared to be critical of PlayStation. And I'm like, yo, I don't think y'all realize how detrimental that is to your business in the long run. Now, Sony and all these media outlets are not thinking about the long run. They're not thinking about their reputation. They don't care. They just want the quick hits. They want the quick money. A lot of people are like that. And if you have patience and you have a good plan, then that long money is just that. It's long money. It's generational. It's money you could hand down to your family, son. That's that money that you want. Not that, oh, I got some money and then it's gone, you know. But, you know, it's just different, not ideologies, but it's different strategies when it comes to business. So, I mean, I'm not a business strategist, so, you know, whatever. People get paid to do that stuff, and I would say, you know, 50-50. Some people are good at it, some people are not. I don't know if it's 50-50. It's probably less than that. You know, good to bad ratio. So, but anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out, showing, listening to my like and subscribe. Let me know about the bugs, and you know, I'm gonna say this. Oh, I forgot to mention. I'm sorry. This is not a bug. This is an error. It's a mistake. But it's a mistake that should not have been made, because Miles Morales is part Puerto Rican, part black, I believe. That's what he is. His dad's black, his mom's Puerto Rican, whatever. And she looked kind of Afro-Rican too, but whatever. So when they put a Cuban flag in Miles Morales' crib, and there's other places. I think there was a Boricua bodega that has some Cuban and American flags. I'm like, that's not right. And people are like, oh, it's not a big deal, or oh, it's an honest mistake, or yeah, your mistakes happen. I'm like, hold up. That's not acceptable, because listen, I'm Puerto Rican and I'm Cuban, among other things. So obviously I know the difference between a Puerto Rican flag and a Cuban flag. Now, I got beef with Pete Rock on Game Attack Radio because he's Cuban, literally Cuban, and he made a big error. He should be working for Insomniac. That's how big his error was. He said the only difference between the Puerto Rican flag and the Cuban flag is the triangle, right? I'm like, no. I mean, they were identical. Colors are different, but as far as the pattern is, yes, they are identical, but the difference is that the red and the blue are inverted on both flags. Whichever flag that you pick, the other flag is the inverse. Except for white. White is white. So, that being said, the Puerto Rican flag is triangle blue, stripes are red. The Cuban flag is triangle red, stripes are blue. That's Cuban. So, by him leaving out the fact that the stripes are different colors too, Sure, he made a mistake too, but come on, son. If you're Cuban, you're supposed to become correct with the facts. I'm just saying. It don't look good for you. Just saying, oh, the only difference is the triangle. It's like, really? Is that? Okay. What you just said is almost worse than them putting the wrong flag in the Puerto Rican's house. And so I'm like, look, to me, it's not a big deal. You know, flag, whatever, you know. But Puerto Ricans are proud people. You know, some people, like me, I'm more Americanized. So, you know, I'm like, whatever, yo, the earth is the earth, you know. But some people are like, yo, I'm not Cuban. Why would you put a... And first and foremost, the character of Miles Morales is Puerto Rican. Where did they get a Cuban flag anyway? Did they hire some people from China and say, yo, we need some flags, put the Puerto Rican flag. And they're like, okay, boop, boop, boop. And then they don't know what the hell a Puerto Rican flag looks like. And so they grab a Cuban flag. How does the QA not catch the fact that this is a Cuban flag and not a Puerto Rican flag? If Xbox would have done that to one of their games, oh my gosh, it would have been an outcry. Oh, we're going to call the judge and the courts to come and shut this down, take it off the store. Oh, I forgot the other part of the bugs. The actual physical copies of Spider-Man 2 are failing. They're failing to install at 36%. And some of them are not, they're not failing to install. They install, but then they crash at a certain point all the time. I'm like, if this was Xbox, it would be up in arms. Oh my gosh, dude, we got to recall and take them off the store, blah, blah, blah. Actually, that's happening. I think it's in the UK. There's a store that won't, they pulled them off the shelves like, yeah, we're not selling this because we ain't getting all these returns. So I guess Sony's getting a whole bunch of physical copies back because if they, look, I mean, how do you mess that up? And second, isn't there a day one patch? So if you have the physical copy, right, you put it in your PlayStation and it says, yeah, okay, we downloaded. Oh, we got a patch. Or it should be like, oh, just download it from the server because this is the right version. Why is it downloading it from the disc only to do an update? Shouldn't it be like, yo, let's just trigger the right one and then, you know what I'm saying? It should do that because the disc is literally just a license. It's not, the data on the disc shouldn't matter. So it's just ridiculous. It's just, look, Sony gets the pass, it's bullshit, but they get it every day. They get it all day long. Nintendo gets the same thing, but at least they have good games. And I'm really getting tired of the bias and the hypocrisy and just the scared bitch ass outlets out there that will not stand up to a corporation. You know, stand on your own 2 feet, grow some balls, and grow a good reputation. Because IGN is full of shite. As far as I'm concerned, they can kick rocks all day long. I just listen to it because I want to hear the ridiculous stuff that they say to more emphasize and support the theory that they're biased. You know, I'm trying to gather all the evidence, and the only way I can do that is to witness the biases for myself. You know, I watch Digital Foundry. Some of them lean toward this way and that way, but at least they are consistent with what they do, and they do their tech stuff. That's what they do, you know, and that stuff is important too. But you know, it's not the end all be all. So I'm like, whatever. You can do this, you can do that. It's fine. It's not anything that is like ground shaking or anything, but I appreciate y'all hanging out. I got nothing else. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Till the way.